The top stories for the hour. Deputy Prime Minister highlights statistics as key to Africa's growth. And Africa gears up for inaugural energy efficiency summit as millions lack electricity. Hello and welcome to TBC World, the voice of Pan-Africanism. Ismi Makrela is today's update. Do stay with us. The 90th regular meeting of the Committee of Director Generals of African National Statistics Office (CODGs) in Addis Ababa is well underway at the African Union headquarters. The 90th CODG session, which convenes head of National Statistics Office and the international partners, continues throughout the week at the AU headquarters, focusing on harmonizing statistical practice and improving data-driven policymaking across Africa. Deputy Prime Minister Tamasken Taruna underscored their central role of statistics in shaping Africa's development during the opening session.
Statistics allow us to understand the pace of the economic change, track progress in health and education, monitor the performance of public programs, and anticipate emerging risks. They guide investment, improve service delivery, and strengthen transparency. In short, the statistics are the backbone of evidence-based planning and data-driven development. This is why your work matters. A modern African statistical system is essential for shaping policies and deliver real results.
The Deputy Chairperson of the African Union Commission, Ambassador Salam Malik Haddadi, for her part, has welcomed the ongoing process of the African Charter on Statistics. She further calls on the member states to sign and ratify the Charter.
The African Charter on Statistics, which serves as the legal foundation for the African statistical system, continues to be a critical instrument in promoting the principles of professional independence, coordination, and quality assurance. We welcome the ongoing process of revision of the Charter, which will ensure that it remains relevant to new realities, such as digital transformation, data innovation, and the growing demand for real-time statistics. I take this opportunity to encourage all member states that have not yet done so to sign and ratify the African Charter on Statistics before the revision of this document be finalized, thereby reinforcing our shared commitment to sound statistical governance in Africa. As we move forward, the modernization of national statistical systems is no longer an option, but a necessity.
Ethiopian Minister of Finance Ahmed Shide stressed that Ethiopia's journey in strengthening its statistical system mirrors broader continental effort to harmonize data, ensure comparability, and force evidence-based policy making across Africa.
The Ethiopian Statistical Service has made significant progress in modernizing data production and expanding coverage. Key initiatives include the Agricultural Census, Demographic and Health Surveys, the National Integrated Household Survey, and the ongoing Census of Economic Establishments. These efforts not only improve the quality and timeliness of data, but also foster greater integration across national statistical system, ensuring that all sectors have access to reliable evidence for decision-making. His Excellency Deputy Prime Minister, ladies and gentlemen, Ethiopia's journey in strengthening its statistical systems mirrors broader continental efforts to harmonize data, ensure comparability, and foster evidence-based policymaking across Africa.
The African Union is gearing up to host its first ever African Energy Efficiency Conference in Addis Ababa this December, an urgent push as 600 million Africans remain without electricity and nearly 1 billion still rely on polluting cooking fuels. At a press briefing, AU Commissioner for Infrastructure and Energy, Larato Dorothy Mataboge, stressed that the conference will focus squarely on energy efficiency, calling it a fundamental pillar of Agenda 2063, the Africa we want. Jerusalem Bazaha reports.
The African Union is preparing to host the inaugural African Energy Efficiency Conference scheduled for December 10th and 11th, 2025 in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. The event will take place at the AU headquarters and aims to establish a continental platform that unites regional renewable energy and energy efficiency centers. Across Africa, about 600 million people still lack access to electricity, while nearly 1 billion rely on polluting cook fuels, conditions that continue to affect health, productivity, and economic growth. During a press briefing held ahead of the conference, AU Commissioner for Infrastructure and Energy emphasized that the gathering will place a strong focus on energy efficiency, a critical pillar of Agenda 2063, the Africa we want.
As a start, as the African Union, we attach great importance and transformative importance to the energy sector. We recognize it as a fundamental pillar for achieving our continental development framework of Agenda 2063, the Africa that we want. And we are quite clear that Africa stands at a pivotal moment where rising energy demand, infrastructure inefficiencies, and unequal access to electricity and clean cooking solutions continue to threaten our development progress towards the Africa that we want.
She urged AU member states to prioritize policy adoption, implementation, and continuous evaluation to accelerate progress in the sector.
We're going to be pursuing with this conference. The first one, we want to accelerate policy adoption. This will entail the support to member states to adopt minimum energy performance standards and energy labeling frameworks. Currently, we have 18 AU countries or AU member states that have adopted minimum energy performance standards out of the 55, and we have 12 that have adopted energy efficiency policies, in particular in the ECOWAS region that is leading. So as you can tell from the numbers, we still need to do a lot of work.
Deputy Director General for the Energy Sector at the Ethiopian Petroleum and Energy Authority said Ethiopia has been working aggressively to expand electricity access by prioritizing renewable energy sources. He added that Ethiopia expects the conference to play an important role in helping the country advance its national energy goals.
Showcasing of energy efficiency interventions being implemented here in Ethiopia. Networking event, Ethiopian Energy Efficiency Spotlight Sessions, which entail discuss on energy efficiency and energy sector landscape of Ethiopia, technical sessions, proposed visits to the some of the national infrastructure and the development corridor being implemented by the government of Ethiopia to become the beacon of prosperity of Africa. Petroleum and Energy Authority of Ethiopia, this event is believed that it would highly support energy efficiency programs being implemented in member states and in Ethiopia in party.
More than 40 African energy ministers, along with over 200 policymakers, technical experts and practitioners are expected to attend the first African Energy Efficiency Conference in Addis Ababa.
EBC journalist Demis Tareka has been awarded the African Science Journalism Award in the Best Story category. The African Science Journalism Award is dedicated to recognizing African journalists who excel in covering health, climate change and environment and agriculture, thematic focus areas for the SFA Foundation. To further promote credible science communication, the award includes a category for science aimed at amplifying reliable science voices and combating the misinformation and disinformation often found in discussions on science. Additionally, there is a category for editors aimed at recognizing editors who have championed science journalism within their newsroom by encouraging and expanding coverage of science-related stories. Saying that he feels proud in clinching the award, Demis, who sits at the top of the English news section of EBC, has pledged to do more in combating the effects of climate change via influential stories. Ethiopia and the United States have reaffirmed their commitment to work closely in combating terrorism and transnational crime following discussion between Chief Commissioner of Ethiopian Federal Police General Demellash Gebramikael and U.S. Ambassador to Ethiopia Erwin Masinga. The meeting held at the Ethiopian Federal Police headquarters in Addis Ababa focused on strengthening bilateral cooperation in policing and security. The two sides reviewed ongoing partnerships and exploring avenues to expand collaboration and intelligence sharing, law enforcement capacity development, and exchange of expertise. Commissioner General Demellash stated that the discussion covered practical areas of cooperation, including experience sharing, training, and institutional capacity building. For his part, Ambassador Masinga underscored the United States' commitment to supporting Ethiopia's security sector and to work jointly in addressing terrorism and cross-border criminal networks. In a related development, Ethiopia and China have reaffirmed their commitment to strengthening bilateral security cooperation during high-level talks between Ethiopia and China officials in Addis Ababa. This was disclosed after Ethiopian Federal Police Commissioner General Demellash Gebramikael met at his office with Ambassador Wang Lejin, General Director of Department of External Security Cooperation at China's Ministry of Foreign Affairs. The engagement between both dignitaries aims at discussing strategies for combating terrorism, transnational crimes, and other regional and continental security challenges, the Commissioner General said. Commissioner General Demellash highlighted the country's deepening ties, noting that Ethiopia and China elevated their relation to an all-weather strategic cooperation partnership 2 years ago, following discussion between Ethiopian Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed and Chinese President Xi Jinping in October 2023. Ambassador Wang, for her part, expressed China's readiness to work closely with Ethiopia to jointly prevent and combat terrorism and other transnational threats. The Ethiopian National Dialogue Commission has called on civic and religious organizations to actively contribute to resolving existing challenges by leveraging their trust and outreach. A consultative meeting under the theme "The Active Role of Civic Organizations for the Success of National Dialogue Process" was held at the Capitol Hotel in Addis Ababa. Opening the meeting, Chief Commissioner Professor Masfin Araya emphasized the significant role that civic and religious institutions play in ensuring the success of national dialogue. Acknowledging the long-standing efforts of these institutions in supporting the Commission's work, he underscored their unique credibility and influence within communities. Accordingly, the Chief Commissioner urged the institutions to actively contribute to resolving existing challenges by leveraging their trust and outreach. Ethiopian Civil Society Organizations Council Executive Director Taferi Degete, on his part, affirmed a Council's commitment to supporting the efforts of the Commission. That's all we had for today's update, but before I go, let's have a recap of the top stories once again. Deputy Prime Minister highlights statistics as key to Africa's growth. And Africa gears up for inaugural energy efficiency summit as millions lack electricity. Thank you for tuning into EBC World, the voice of Pan-Africanism. It was me, Makanela, seeing you with today's update. Goodbye.